Okay, later on, I cannot prostrate because I injured my leg. So I, together with you all, just bow to the Buddha 3 times. Okay? Okay, please stand up. You walk this way. The wire. Okay, please hold the palm. Okay, 3 bows to the Buddha. First bow. Okay, second bow. Okay, third bow. Okay, please take a seat. Okay, so as usual, okay, please hold the palm. We recite the Guan Yin菩萨圣号. Hey, wait. Okay, please hold the palm. 南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南 南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨。南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无 观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨。南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨。Okay, please follow me. 南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。OK。Okay, good morning, all brothers and sisters. So today I will sit down and teach, first time. Okay, I tell the reason I'm not got the COVID is because of due to injure my leg. So leg have to take time to recover. So but at least today I managed to come back to teach. So because cannot climb up staircase, so that's why I bring the table down and cannot stand too long. Okay. Anyway, impermanent, right? Everybody will fall sick. Okay, so first announcement. So now regarding we already postponed the previous lesson to today. So in fact, if we include today, we still got 3 more lessons to go. Include today 4 more lessons to go. That means 2 months. So instead of finish by end of November, 3rd week of November, so we extend 1 more because of postpone previous lesson. So will be beginning of December. If anything, nothing go wrong. So beginning of December. So beside today, we still got 3 more lessons to go. Okay, so I think we can manage to finish all the rest of the topics for this module 3. Okay. Now, so second announcement. So therefore, our next lesson will be on 6th of November. Just because typing error. 6th of November. Okay, 6th of November. Our next lesson. Now, next announcement. The organizer want me to continue the English one. Right, the Dharma talk, but actually I prefer Chinese because also cater for those Chinese educator one. But anyway, they prefer English educator one because for English educator because not many English Dharma talk in English and especially in Mahayana Buddhism. So therefore, they want me to talk on the Diamond Sutra, Qing. But this. Yeah, I mean, people like you, if you think like finish this one, nothing to continue. Now, you may want to continue to attend this Diamond Sutra. With the basic Dharma knowledge, right, I think it will be easier for you to understand the Diamond Sutra, Qing. So I will give in, the organizer will give you the textbook, just like this one, the textbook. I already found the one, actually got 2 textbooks for the Diamond Sutra. In fact, 3 versions. One is the 宣化上人 in America, but that one, translated by English monk. So I not in favor of that one. So the other 2, one is the Korean guy. I think he's a scholar also. I think that actually not bad. It's thinner a little bit, but I go and choose that one quite thick one. This one actually red pine. The author. I prefer that one because they have a glossary at the behind, the Chinese kind of terminology, so easier for you. Now, beside translation, but sort of connotation, at the bottom, he will try to quote whether those eminent monk, the scholar or the present Buddhist scholar, on the certain issue, they have different kind of their views or whatever. But a big academic. But anyway, I'm not doing academic. So we are more on the content of the sutra. And if condition arise, I just highlight to you those scholars what they say, something like that. So it's quite thick, about 400-500 pages. Okay. But anyway, the organizer, they ample time for them to go and look for the textbook, and they will go and get it. I think they give you free, so you're so lucky. So I bought one because I had to prepare the lesson. So it costs about $30-something, $32. It's just at this one, $29 to $30, something like that. So that will be on the, we have a break, right? After the beginning of December, we have a break. They prefer to do it after Chinese New Year. That means in the, February next year, I think so, 2023, right? So we have enough time for you all to rest, and for 2 weeks break. Around 2 weeks, So then, if you're interested, then you can sign up for this Diamond Sutra. I think in Singapore, not many people talk on Diamond Sutra in English. Jing Gan Jing, of course, Mandarin a lot, but English one, not many. I think got one monk. There's a monk. I saw the YouTube, Quan Chen Fa or whatever. I think from Vietnam or from America. Yeah, he gave a talk on Diamond Sutra, but he used another version. I prefer you have a basic Dharma knowledge, it will be easier for you. Those people just coming to join. That I don't know how much they know. But anyway, because Diamond Sutra will talk about emptiness, just and now we have covered a lot of emptiness, this kind of thing. Okay? Wow. Because at the moment, come to the class around, plus those cannot come out, you should around 30 students now at the moment, So, hopefully we still can do it in the class. As you know, the COVID now, the new variant, according to Ong Yi Kang, the health minister, it's a very quick and quite serious one. But of course, not those people in the ICU or whatever. So, better put on the mask, be careful, because not really, the virus still around. Okay, you see a lot of Singaporeans, taking for granted, never put on masks, that kind of thing. So I think prevention better than cure. Okay, so back to our lecture. Okay, refer to your textbook. Okay, so can you refer to your textbook, page 315. Now, I have a quick one to recap what I've taught you for the previous lesson. As you know, I draw on the whiteboard. So these are so-called on the 3 different systems of thought, in Mahayana teaching, 大乘佛教, 大乘三系, 3 different systems of thought. And, there are 3 here, Madhyamika, Yogacara, and Tathagata. 中观唯识如来藏. Okay, the 中观 you can say middle contemplation, 唯识 you can say mere consciousness or mind only school. The other one called storehouse 如来藏. But this morning we'll cover the 如来藏, the Tathagata, and we still got the Ten Bhumi, 4 embracing virtues, Trikaya, 3 body of the Buddha for the rest of the 3 weeks. So these are the 3 major topics, all right? So this morning we will cover the Tathagata. But before I do that, the previous one too, we already covered. Like Madhyamika, we call it middle contemplation. Basically, they, assert, we call it the middle path, right? Neither A nor B, neither existent nor non-existent. 非有非无. That because, is for the sake of sentient being, because we all of us, right? We live in this defiled world, or we call it living in this relative world. 相对的世界 relative world. It means there's everything in contrast, 2 extreme, right? Tall and short, black and white, good and bad, something like that. So because of that, we have a kind of a straight line thinking, therefore we have a differentiated mind, because we try to differentiate, tall and short, good and bad, black and white, that kind of thing. So when we differentiate the things, object, then definitely we already cling on to it, we grasp on the concept, sort of like the thing is there. There's a so-called like permanent nature there. But in Buddhism, we know that all things are lack of inherent nature, right? Intrinsic nature. We call the nature of emptiness, 性空, because everything is subject to changes, impermanent, or depend on causes and condition, right? It's just like now the virus, we see the COVID-19 up and down or whatever, and so on and so forth. So impermanent, of course, in Buddhism cause suffering. So therefore, the first one they introduced Madhyamika, all right? And this is the core teaching in Buddhism. And this is the so-called like the teaching, the theory of the truth realized, right? Realized by Shakyamuni Buddha in ancient India, 2,600 years ago. As you know, the history, you also go to the two extremes, right? In the Paris, this called it pleasure seeking, 享乐主义. Then he came out for the 6 years ascetic life. So this fall into the asceticism, 修苦行 asceticism. And this another extreme for 6 years, right? Torture himself, don't eat, don't sleep, whatever, just like non-Buddhist school. And eventually you know that, yeah, these are the two extremes. Then you walk to he sat under the Bodhi tree, the history, right? Within the 49 days, then you realize the truth. So you realize this truth, one word, we call emptiness, 空, Chinese call 空. If you use one word, 空, that's all. This is the truth, 真理. But if you use two words, Chinese word, 中道, that means middle path, right? We cover in the module 2, Eightfold Path, 4 Noble Truths, 四圣谛八正道, right? 3 study, whatever, we cover it in the module 2, right? And all these are actually, we call it right understanding, right views, and the right concentration. With the word right means middle path, because you are not going to fall to the extreme. Because if we are talking about concentration or even mindfulness, that is not only Buddhism, we talk about this one, even for non-Buddhist school, they also practice concentration. I told you already, just like meditation. For Catholic, they do have meditation. But with the word right, it means, we are not going to fall to the two extremes. And right means emptiness, detachment, not attachment, 不是执着. And this is the clear difference, between Buddhism and other religion, right? So this is called Madhyamika, right? Madhyamika, that means neither A nor B, 非空非有, whatever. Okay, this is called middle path. Now we are suffering now because we are not in the middle path. We usually fall into the two extremes, right? Simple as that. So this called, then if you base on the historical, the kind of development, and you will realize that, initially, of course, Buddha talked about, during 2nd century, even by Nagarjuna, talked about emptiness, and this is a core teaching in Buddhism, and in fact, this is a real teaching in Buddhism. Then subsequently, they developed into the Yogacara, because people will start to worry, because emptiness, a lot of people couldn't understand. I told you already, it's very difficult to explain emptiness to people, because this is a word transcending Dharma. It's simple as that. It's different from normal, mundane level, the kind of people talking about existence. You are, in Hokkien, like I say, this is a computer laptop. Yes. It do exist. Appear in front of me. This is a laptop. Then you say this is not a laptop. So emptiness is not referring to the appearance, the form of the object. The object is still around. We didn't deny. Right? So computer is here. But what we are trying to say is the nature of the computer. I keep on emphasizing the nature, right? So the emptiness is referring to the nature of the particular object. So it's not permanent. In this way, it's no permanent nature one. Or lack of intrinsic nature, 无自性. Therefore, we say emptiness. So emptiness is referring to the nature. And nature you cannot see through our naked eye. Our naked eye, we can't see one. Our naked eye, we only can see computer only. But the nature of computer, we can't see. It's just like, all the while, you see, I taught you for more than 1 year already. And this is the first time. When I cancel the class, there must be something wrong one. I will never cancel class one. You see, I always never come late one. Rain, I also never come late. This is my style. I like to be punctual. I hate people come late. I myself also don't come late. I'm teaching in my Buddhist college. I never come late one. I never miss a lesson, but now, no choice. Injured, right? Anything can happen. So I was forced to cancel. Right? But now at least can walk. Not too bad with the Buddha blessing. Right? I enjoy teaching because I don't know whether you enjoy my teaching. I learned a lot from you also. Right? And the Dharma Sutra, I'm looking forward. I'm giving for the Dharma. I'm focused on Dharma education. Usually I'm teaching. This is the first time I give a Dharma Sutra in English. Because English sometimes quite, because the flavor, the taste different. The Chinese is easier for, although, of course I can speak English, but the problem is, usually this one is a Chinese one. But you want me to English? Okay, English. But anyway, I'm looking forward. My first try, I hope that I also can learn something from here. So, anyway, so this is called Yogacara. So they bring in beside emptiness, people start to worry, they couldn't understand. So bring in the Yogacara, mind only school, 8 consciousness, Alaya. I'll show you the PowerPoint later on, Alaya. So they propose 8 consciousness alaya, this is the main one. It's just like creator and whatever. So all these are by skillful means. Because the actual one is the emptiness, madhyamika. All these two, you see the triangle, yogacara and tathagata, all these are by skillful means. Because of essential mean worry about emptiness, couldn't understand. They say, okay, there's a yogacara, just like consciousness. A sort of soul, but it's not a soul. So just to, we have a peace of mind, then at least, you're more confident. Then they develop into the last one. Tathagata, Lu Lai Zhang, storehouse. So they say, okay, we take out emptiness, then we remain existent. And this actually refers to Buddha nature. You can see the PowerPoint here. Buddha nature. 佛性 means all sentient beings possess, or we call it possess Buddha nature, means potential enlightenment. We have a potential to become Buddha. So it's just like planting a seed. Everybody have Buddha nature, right? This is a cause. So when we, through cultivation, when we discover, after we discover the Buddha nature, then we become enlightened. 我们就成佛了嘛, free from suffering. So you see, this is why I say just now. You see, Buddha nature, Mahayana, 佛性, Mahayana Buddhists believe that all humans have the nature of the Buddha within them already. Everybody have. I told you before last time. So it is a seed, just like planting a seed, 种子, right? Within all of them that has the potential to grow. That's why I say there's a scholar use the word potential enlightenment, 成佛的可能性. But doesn't mean that you can become Buddha, although you have a Buddha nature. But if you don't practice the Dharma, it's just like you're planting a seed, but without fertilizer, sunlight, the thing won't grow. They cannot sprout out. 不能成长嘛. So you need the external condition, those kind of condition arise, right? Any external condition, such as sunlight, water, fertilizer, that kind of thing. So this is referred to as a Buddha nature, and essentially means that people have the ability to become enlightened like the Buddha. I told you before, even non-Buddhists for other religions, whether you're Muslim or Catholic or Christian, they also have Buddha nature. They have, because you say all sentient beings have possess Buddha nature. 众生都有佛性嘛. So they also belong to sentient being. It's just that because they approach their religion, so they have no chance to study Buddhism. So how to discover the Buddha nature? So this, again, just to make you confident. If you say emptiness,空, nothingness. So I tell you, say, yeah, you have a Buddha nature. You have. So you can become Buddha. Then you feel very confident. So, calm down. I have a Buddha nature. So one day I can become Buddha. Right? So all these are by upaya, skillful means, 方便. Okay? But having said that, eventually you have to go to emptiness. You see the triangle inside, I put the word emptiness. Because emptiness is common to the three of them, especially Madhyamika. Right? 中观. Clear? Okay, so now back to the textbook. I spent so much time already. Okay, so now we finished the alaya. You see this Buddha nature. You see the next one, alaya. You see I stop here, 315, right? Correct, So last time, if you want, you take a look on here. Now
this called alaya, 8 consciousness. Of course, the 7 called mana. You're interested, you can refer to more kind of other material also as well. Otherwise, you read the Master Yin Sun, the textbook, you also can learn something. For instance, this all 9 years alaya, because their main focus on this one. It's just a creator, because without this one, all things, external object is considered nothing. You know, and why we attach to ourselves, self-attachment, and because of mana, 7 consciousness. The first 6 is just like we cover in the module through ear, eye, nose, or I told you already, right? Inner pieces and ear, you know, tongue, you know, ear, nose, eye, and so on and so forth. So these are the first 6, we call 6 consciousness in general. But according to this school, Yogacara school, they brought out another 2 more. 7 mana, M-A-N-A, Mona Shi, and this 8, we call it alaya. All 9 years, A-L-A-Y-A. And this is so-called like Buddhism talk about Buddhist psychology. 佛教心理学. So when you're talking to psychologists about Buddhism, then you can use this theory already. Right? We call it Buddhist psychology. So you see, Buddhism can face a lot of challenge. You know, if you want to know Buddhism, you can from different angle to study Buddhism. You can train in psychologists. You can train in scientists. You can train yourself as a doctor. Then you come in to learn. A, B, C, D, E, A to Z. You choose yourself. So this alaya, Vaisnana, is the foundation of the basis of all consciousness. Of course, these are all consciousness. Si, in Buddhism, they're talking about soul. Soul, that means there's an ontology, there's a substance there. But in Buddhism, talk about there's no real substance, 没有实体 in this world, because of emptiness. So this consciousness, although you say, yeah, this is alaya within us or whatever, it's just like the thing is there, just like Buddha nature, 佛性. But in fact, it's emptiness. Because this consciousness is linked up to the, or we can say, associated with the karma. Right? Because of our karma, and we go into our mother body, then our mother pregnant, then after give birth. You know, so this consciousness go in. I told you already, when we talk about the 12 things, how our life, where are the life come from? 我们从哪里来? I told you already. Of course, beside our parents, right? We can say egg and sperm. 精子跟卵子 egg and sperm combination of this, according to the scientists, the medical, these 2 combination, of course, this is how where the life come from. But in Buddhism, not only that, not enough, because we need, of course, other people say there must be soul coming in. But in Buddhism, talk about consciousness must come in. And this consciousness is depend on your karma, no? How come you don't born in how come you born in the presidential palace or whatever, and then become president's son or children, right? Or prime minister or minister of the rich people? How come you are born in the poor family, they become very poor? You know, that kind of thing. So all these are something to do with the karma, right? You know, our past karma. So when the condition arise, in fact, if you know that, I don't want to talk the superstition. In fact, you see all those consciousness, because we can't see one, all these things, 类似灵魂, so it's filled up the whole space, you know. And people die, people, you know, conscious, just like a cycle of birth and death. And they are waiting to 投胎, you know, waiting to born in this world, you know, and go to the female body, you know. They are waiting, you know. So even husband and wife or female and male have a relationship, doesn't mean that you get pregnancy, you know. You get pregnancy. Not necessary. If the consciousness to come in, 你根本不会怀孕的. If some people have a relationship for 10 years, 20 years, but cannot give birth. Of course, you can say some people because of the female problems, of the male problems, so that they cannot give birth, or they cannot pregnant. But beside that is a consciousness coming. Right? So all this must be conditioned to rise. 我跟你有缘嘛, so I come in. And even in Buddhism, there's a sutra will tell you whether, talking about the gender, whether the pregnancy, this is a boy or girl. Of course, from the medical point of view, you say, oh yeah, pregnancy after 3 months, I don't know, I'm not female. 3 months or 4 months, then you go for X-ray, then you can tell whether, because all this, we call it 6 root, 6根 form already, so you can see whether girl or boy. Of course, it's too early, it's just a lump, you can't see one. But that's why in Buddhism, some people say killing, abortion, consider killing is when you know the gender already. Just like, baby there, you go and abort, go for abortion, and this is considered killing. But actually, the moment the female got pregnancy, 马上怀孕的 that moment already considered there's life inside there's life inside the baby there already, because consciousness come in, otherwise not successful, And this one don't need to wait until all the 6 truths all come out, whether the gender boy or girl. At that moment already life inside there already. So you say, before I see whether see the gender, then I go for abortion, it's not considered killing. You're wrong. You're wrong. Once they get pregnancy, can see the baby there, although don't know boy or girl, is considered there's a life there. That's why I see the Catholic. Now what time? You see the Catholic, I was studying in England, I asked the mature student, then you talk about religion, abortion, killing. I said, so how? So it's a paradox. Because they cannot have certain precaution, like use condom or whatever. They cannot use it because the religion not allowed. And you also not allow you to go for abortion. 你叫人家怎么做? Do already pregnancy, cannot go for abortion. Then you say cannot use the thing to prevent. Then how? You know what they do? The mature student, because they in England they got mature student, and this so amma one, the 50 something, but still doing the BA degree, and pass with flying color, distinction, Who say old cannot study, old people, old lady cannot study. Even the result also very good, better than the young one. And she told me what they do, Catholic. In fact, a lot of Catholic don't care. He said don't care, don't follow. Told they use the thing to prevent. Otherwise, you got it, you're pregnant, then you go for abortion, you're killing already, They don't want. And she told me, this happened in Catholic, anyway, it's their religion. But to me, it's a paradox, 对吗？又不能避免怀孕，又可以做，那how? Why not? Okay, this one can debate if you want the debate. Okay, so this is called alaya, have a quick one, and from this is our thought, opinion, desire. Yeah, this is how something like, so. Okay, back to the textbook. Wow, we have to move faster a little bit. You see the subtitle there? The truly eternal mere mind system. Chinese called 真常唯心系. This is the name given by Master Yin Sun. I told you already, different from Master Tai Xu, his teacher. Okay, the truly eternal mere mind system. 真常唯心系. 真正的真, 常时常的常, 唯是的唯, 心 mind, 系大乘三系的系. Okay, see the verse 182. Some may think that the law of arising and extinction cannot be the foundation of being bound and being liberated. Of course, you know that we are in the cycle of birth and death. So when we cultivate the Dharma Xu, we want to go beyond, transcend, surpass, 超越 the sixth cycle, 六道. Right? Because when we talk about six cycles, it's everything, the three realms, this is how we're suffering now. And these are all in the worldly, we consider worldly Dharma. But in Buddhism, talk about world transcending Dharma, how are we going to transcend, go beyond it? So, he said because they are afraid of the phrase of non-existence of self, people like you and me, 没有我无我, no self. So people scared already, no self, then how? So when you talk about no self, then to me, you're not sitting here, no self, no physical body, you're not sitting here. But in fact, you're sitting here in front of me. I'm sitting in front of you. How can you say I'm not sitting in front of you? The physical body is here. So, therefore, Buddhism talk about no self. I told you so many times, right? I don't know how people explain it outside. No self, of course, you know that doesn't mean nothingness. Emptiness doesn't mean nothingness. 空不是没有 in Chinese. 没有 is nothing. You ask me, do you have any money in your pocket? Today I'm very rush. I say, no, nothing. See, I think if I take taxi, also no money. But the student will fetch me. if you don't fetch me, no money to take taxi. But today forget. So I didn't bring any money. I said, nothing in my pocket. Not even 1 cent, not even $1. This is nothing. Right? Kong ma. But emptiness is not nothingness, right? I told you already. It's referred to the nature. When it refer to the nature, we call it the inner side. 里面的看不到的。And because of this emptiness, all things are dependent on causes and condition. 因缘, right? So once the condition arises, they form, just like different formation, they form. 5 aggregate, 五蕴, 5 skandha, like the form. 5 great element. And there's a physical body already. It's just like the different element, they form formation. Then, we can see the object just like laptop, computer. And because the nature of this thing is emptiness, they have to depend on so many conditions, so many elements, factors, 因素 to form a thing. So if, just imagine one of the factor, go haywire or disappear or whatever, so the thing will change. The thing will change. The thing will change. This is how we call suffering. The thing change, we also change. 我们跟着改嘛. Because we are very easily influenced by the external object. Right? So this is what Buddhism is trying to say. And Buddhism is trying to explain the nature of the thing, Not like other religion, You can go and check, beside Buddhism, other religion, Christianity, Catholic, Muslim, Islam. Just like now I'm teaching this subject, Buddhist attitudes of other faith in my college. That one more academic one. And you will know that it's entirely different, from other religion. Because you can say, 佛教讲什么? In short, you can classify to this one in short. Buddhism talk about nature. Emptiness referring to nature. Existence referring to the form, the appearance. So appearance people easy to understand, right? Because you already see it. You can feel it. You can touch it. But nature cannot. Nature cannot see through naked eye. So you ask people to imagine, to visualize, very difficult. How to understand? Qing, very profound. Right? And they thought this is Buddhism because we worship, chanting, 念经, we asking for blessing. They thought this is a Buddhism already because they couldn't understand emptiness. They thought, 你保佑就好了. That's why you see Dharma talk and Dharma class usually lesser people. And you see chanting a lot of people. Because chanting you need external help. It's just like other religion. We all external help. But Dharma class and Dharma talk is you have to help yourself. We call it self-cultivation. You study in the module 1 in the textbook. Self-reliance, everything by yourself. Buddha merely showed the way. We ourselves have to walk the path. Buddha merely showed the way. Buddha just like usher. You go to the cinema. This is A21, 接待到. This is A18, 接待到. Usher. Nowadays I didn't go to cinema. I also cannot go. I also don't know how they operate. My time is, we call it usher. Right now? You go to I'm so you go to cinema. Wow, they think started. We scared late, I'm so I still can. Then they use a torchlight. Some people can't find their seat. Stand there for nothing. Wait for usher to come to show you the seat. But now how are you going to find your seat? Like you all don't need to find the seat because this is a permanent seat for you already. Okay, so this is called non-existence of the self. Therefore, the Buddha again embraced them with skillful means. So, in other words, this Tathagata Garbha is based on this reason. People worry about the non-existence of self. That means worry about no self. So they came out with this theory, Tathagata Garbha. This, according to the verse here, they tell you why this theory was proposed by the Buddha, Tathagata Garbha, the principle. And because of that, and they tell you this embrace them with a skillful means, right? Is this considered as an indirect method? It's not a direct method. Madhyamika is a direct method. Straight away, no bargain, emptiness, Kong, no bargain one. Don't come and bargain with me. Kong 就是空. But Yogacara and Tathagata Garbha, you can bargain one. I don't like Kong. Okay. If you go and buy the supermarket, whatever, something is cannot bargain one, you know. 不二价，才能够不二价。You know, 一就是一 or some you can bargain one. Go to market, 10 cent discount lah, $1 discount, whatever. But I don't know the CDC voucher government going to give you in December. However, you can go to the 邻里. That means your living area like HDB flat, whatever. Another half, you can go to supermarket. You know, you can go to NTUC, you can go to Giant, you can go to where? Sheng Siong. I know these three only. So half, you know. So government help you a little bit, because due to high inflation. You know, I think you read the newspaper, right? Okay. So this is according to the verse here. Can you see the second paragraph? The Madhyamika, following the ultimate teaching that neither the self nor things, I told you, neither A nor B, have inherent nature, say that the dependent origination arises and perishes like an illusion, just like illusion, 希望, which is in accord with the Dharma seal of the impermanence and the non-existence of self. You study the three seals of the Dharma already, some fighting, right? One is impermanent, 诸行无常, 诸法无我, so non-existence of self, right? These two of the three seals. So, you know, that all things are the yogacharing position. Now they just to, you know, to recall what we had learned it before. Like yogacharing, 为师者 in Chinese, position on inner existence, 自相有. And this inner existence referring to the eight consciousness alaya. Is that all things arise and perishes impermanently. Right? 无常的 impermanently. So they also say that the six characteristics of seed, the first one is momentariness, 刹那灭. That one thing, this is very complicated because this is not in the textbook, because they just give you a brief account. But if you are interested in Yogacara, you go and refer to the actual Yogacara theory. They even got another principle called six. You see, according to here, six characteristics of seed, 六种子. That means you have to meet these six requirements. You know, according to this Yogacara principle. One of them is momentariness, 刹那. That means every second. This 刹那 is referring to now the time unit called second. Every second just keep on changing. And this is true. You look at our body, the whole cycle, we started from 9:45 and now about 10:33. Our thinking, our body system is actually impermanent one. It's keep on changing. You know, they won't stay put one. Heart pumping, still pumping. Something like that. You know. Okay? Can you turn to the next page? The rest you read out, I just highlight to you only. Okay. Now, can you refer to page 317? Can you see the verse 183? The profound Tathagata Gaba. 很深 Profound means 很深精气 Now this profound, of course, is actually they're talking about this one through the skillful means upaya, or considered as an indirect method. You know, if you straight away talking about Panchapika, they find it was very profound. So this is by skillful means. But although this is by skillful means, but actually it's more complicated. To me, if you know among the three systems, different systems of thought, in fact, Panchapika, although endiness are quite profound, whatever, but very straightforward. To me, it's very straightforward, not complicated. But these two, Yogacara and Tathagata Gaba, is catered for those different capacity of sentient being, right? Like those people only train in psychology, and those people only believe in existence or whatever. So I had to camouflage the thing and make sure you like it. You know, we will accept it. Camouflage, you know. Just like you grab a gift paper or whatever, and then you go to find a different color of gift paper. Some people, I don't like red color, I like yellow color, I like green color. So make it more complicated already. But if you refer to actual gift, without all those camouflage. So very straightforward. Pen, they means you give me pen, no? But going to verify the paper, I have to spend money and verify very nicely, make it more attractive, people will like it. You know, no matter how you camouflage, but the thing still inside the pen, it means pen. Okay? And the very interesting is once you open up or you know, what you want is pen only. The paper you just throw away. No matter how beautiful, how nice, how expensive, at the end of the day, I just throw away. You know? So actually, you know, you see, you buy whatever thing, the box, you don't want the box, you need the computer only. The box you just throw because you don't need it. But the box also consider money, you know. That's why everything inclusive, you know. If you say, I don't like the box, I want the computer, can you give me $10 discount? Or $5 discount? Because I don't want then you know, the environmental, you create environmental the kind of problem also. Okay, back to here. So the profound Tathagata Garbha is the basis of good and evil. So, in other words, this Tathagata Garbha, Ru Lai Zhang storehouse, it's just like Yogacara, my only school. Yogacara tell you, Alaya, 8 consciousness Alaya, just a creator. Because all things are dependent on 8 consciousness Alaya. Without 8 consciousness Alaya, all those things are considered meaningless. 不存在了, whatever. Can't you see that this 8 consciousness is just a creator, no? All things are created by God, you know. If you ask me, you give people a wrong impression, no? Even in 8 consciousness, it's just like, well, it's a permanent nature. It's the most powerful one. All things have to depend on this 8 consciousness. It's just like all things in the universe are created by God. You see, you ask me, to me, it's considered imperfect. But some people, because you have to go through this one, then people can accept it. 这个是个方便吗? You see, we study Dharma class because we want to know the Dharma. This is a process we have to go through. Spend time, whatever, put in the effort. But what you want is the truth. Eventually become Buddha. Right? But the whole process, this is how we suffer, you know, learn, put in effort, the kind of things or whatever. Once every 2 weeks you have to come here to learn. And then go back to do your own homework, something like that. Okay? So similarly, just like Tathagata Garbha Ru Lai Zhang. So here they say, all things, whether good or bad, according to here, is the basis of good and evil. So all come from this Tathagata Garbha. It's similar to Tathagata Garbha, just like 8 consciousness, you know, Alaya, no? 一样的吗? Right? So it's just a storehouse. That's why it's translated as a storehouse. Ru Lai Zhang. Store. You go just a storeroom. You just throw everything in. Right? Whether good thing or bad thing, whatever, just throw everything in. 好的坏的不管，丢下去。Right now? So this Ru Lai Zhang, I mean the storehouse, is the basis of good and evil. Of course, when you cultivate the Dharma, the good one will come out. The evil one will disappear, no more. So you see, as a human being, we doesn't mean everybody is perfect, right? Of course, Buddha nature is more pure and refer to good one. It's just that we are still sentient being. Doesn't mean we are perfected one. We are not perfected one because we are not a Buddha. Doesn't mean that we are not 100% perfect. 100%, right? We do have bad and good altogether. It's just that now because we are ordinary being, sentient being. So our bad one is probably 70%, good is only 30%. But we need to cultivate the Dharma, 修行, right? To balance out. Then go further, eventually the other way around, 80% good one, 20% bad one. Or even until the last day at the end of the day, all become totally good. without evil. Just like Buddha, perfected one. This is called perfected one. You know, in Buddhism, perfection means 100%, you know. Not 100.01, not 99.99. No. Exactly 100%, and this is called perfection. In Buddhism, the Buddhist definition. And this is called perfection, perfect. Imperfect means 99.99 or whatever. This is considered imperfect. To us, it's already, wow, above 90, 95, distinction already. Right? You study in the school, when I say you score distinction, doesn't mean that you score 100 marks, you know. You score 90 above, depend on the grading. Or 95 above, 95 to 100, then you consider distinction. But in Buddhism, distinction, or consider perfect, right? Because the highest grade, you must be 100%, you know. You see, if I say exactly must be 100%, you see how many people score distinction? We got 100%. If I'm the teacher, I mark an essay, all depend on me, you know. Different lecturer, different marking, you know. To him, he say, I give you 98. To me, I say, I give you 99. Or I give you 97. Essay sometimes is no fixed kind of marking system, you know. Your report, 见仁见智, you know, in Chinese. But mathematics is different, no? 1 plus 1 equal to 2. Yeah, no bargain. The figure, 错就是错，对就是对。Mathematics is like that one. 1 plus 1 equal to 2, you got it. Let's say this carry 2 marks, 2. No bargain one. So in mathematics, you can score 100%, 100 marks or whatever. But not for essay writing one. All depend on the marker. Okay? So here, it says it's the basis, you know, for all this. You see the last paragraph of 317. As for Tathagata being the primary entity, this primary entity in Chinese is called 主体, the main substance, right? Just like the main body. The main one, I told you already, is the main one, right? The main one. It's a primary entity of the transmigration. That means because of this 如来藏, Tathagata, this is how we fall into the cycle, 6 cycle. You know, the cycle of birth and death. So in other words, this Tathagata or 如来藏 is just like Buddha nature. It's just like called like sort of like cell war. 所以在轮回 because of me, so I was in the cycle of birth and death, and this is how I suffer. Clear? That's why here they refer to the being the primary entity of transmigration and liberation. So whether you talk about transmigration, 轮回 or liberation, 解脱. 谁在轮回谁在解脱? They must be a main body. So this is a primary substance and entity. So 如来藏 no? Tathagata. Okay? Anyway, this one you have to go and think yourself because this is a Buddhist philosophy. Okay? Now, so it is said that this Dharma body, next time we'll cover, this is called one of the Trikaya, 3 body of the Buddha. We call Dharmakaya, Dharma body means truth, 真理. So this is actually beyond time and space. It's not referring to the physical body of the Buddha. Buddha have 3 bodies. In fact, not only 3, just I told my college. Generally, of course, they recognize 3 bodies of the Buddha. So some different versions, some say 2 bodies, sometimes say 4 bodies. The most, they say 5 bodies of the Buddha, 5身. So there are different versions. So, wow, anyway, very complicated. But you just remember, usually refer to 3 bodies. Right? I will tell you next time when we cover this at the end of the module. So, it is said that this Dharma body, which has passed through the bonds of boundless affliction, 烦恼, since the beginning of time. Alright? And this is how we suffer. In the traveling 12因缘, we say started from ignorance in our past life. So we can't trace back the beginning. There's no beginners and endless. 无始无终. It's just like clock, round and round. Why we cannot say this is a starting, beginning, this is ending? We cannot say that. Beginning can become ending. Ending also can become beginning. Why? Because of dependent origination. All things are dependent on causes, condition. Condition arise, this one become beginning. Condition is not there, this one become ending. Condition arise again, then become beginning. 又开始的。So we can say there's a fixed thing, fixed that, you say this beginning, this ending. No. In Buddhism, say no. And because of the theory, we are study dependent origination, 缘起. All things are depend on causes and conditions. 诸法因缘生. And because of that, things are impermanent. And impermanent cause suffering. 无常故苦. That's why now we are young. After certain time, we become old. Just like me, become old. So leg also got problem, that kind of thing. And this is how we talk about suffering. When you are young, I was young before, just like these two boys. Studying in the poly, I was young before, 20-something, 30-something. Well, you enjoy your life, exercise, this and that, traveling, full of energy. But when you reach the age 50 or even after 60, then your whole body declining. Energy or declining. So once you're declining, then we have to know ourselves, just as now I have to know myself, already. I'm no more so young. Of course, you know I'm very energetic when I'm teaching, I just climb out the thing or whatever. But this to tell me, say, you now started to getting old, so you better change your pace. Cannot be so fast. Slow down a little bit. What to do? And this is called life. Right? Okay. So we said pass through the body, the bounds or boundless affliction since the beginning of the time, following the ups and downs of the world in the cycle of birth and death, as I told you just now. 生死轮回. And it's called, turn to next page, sentient being. This is how they define the sentient being, 众生, just like you and me. We are in the cycle of birth and death. We are living in this relative world. Things are changing all the time. 东西都在变化的. And as I told you already, government may want to tighten the rules already. If the thing getting worse again, because according to the Ong Yi Kang, probably by mid of November, 10月中旬, you reach the peak. So one day you may see the figure 15,000, 15,000. Now it's about nearly 10,000, 8,000. And as I told you before, we may have to wear the mask for the rest of your life. So once they tighten the rules, they say, in-house you better wear the mask. Now a lot of Singaporeans, especially in-house, they don't wear already. Now some people walking in the road, you see, of course some people they still wearing the mask, habit already, also hygiene. And yet still got few thousand people get it, And those people get it, youngster, they say, wow, Ching Kyo, my hero, ma. So they Westerner also don't wear, late, Government is the rule already, what for I'm so kiasu. 年轻有本钱嘛 youngster, right? I mean, you got the immune system or whatever. So even for 2价疫苗 2 in 1, government say encourage above 50, better go for jab. But doesn't mean go for jab, nothing happened to you. That's why I want to clarify. 为什么打了还会中的？有些中对， not 100% one, It's just to minimize the thing only. 你不打，等一下更危险了。But 你打 you have to pay for the price. Everything you have to pay for the price, right? Some people got side effect, different body, different kind of reaction. Okay, back to the textbook. Okay, so turn to page 319. This one they cover a lot. So we will try to explain to you. Okay, see the first paragraph. I tell you, let's say they say very profound. If I explain to you later on, you will know that probably your first time listening to this one, you may find quite tough to understand, but it's normal. It's normal, very normal. Because this is so-called like first time you study Buddhist philosophy. But anyway, to us, last time we had to study a few times before we can understand, So if you cannot understand, I think to me it's normal. If you could understand, it's abnormal. 不正常. Why? Probably you learned it before you come here from outside or in your past life. Who knows? 别人听不懂，你听得懂。 just like Kaiwa enlightenment, people cannot enlighten, but you enlighten. Sudden enlightenment. So once you sudden enlightenment, then you can go back. Even 金刚经不用听的 don't need to attend. Yeah, ask Jintan to give you award you a certificate, completed and perfected. So with that certificate, you can go to Pure Land. Joking, yeah. Now, page 319. For example, to say that the four elements can give form and matter definitely does not mean that the four elements are the substance that, 地水火风啦, earth, water, fire, wind, that four elements, four great elements, 四大. So substance and produces matter. So matter is said to be formed according to the 5 causes and production. 五阴身. Okay? According to here, they say dependent. There's a 5 causes. The first one, dependence, establishment, Chinese called dependence. Establishment, 立，建立的立。Support, 支持的持。And nurturing, but of course here it's not referring to 地水火风. These are the another 1, 2, 3, 4. Just now I missed out the first one. Yeah, this one production, 生. Production, dependence, establishment, support, 持. Okay? And last one, nurturing, 养. Chinese called 养. So all this means that apart from the 4 elements, things that are formed cannot exist. Of course, another way of telling it, things formed is due to the 4 great elements. 四大. Okay, 地水火风 in this case. Okay, you see 1, 2 more lines on the right side. So 3 of the 5 causes, dependence, support, 持力, and establishment are the same as the sutra. Just as sutra in the 经典 say, that which is dependence upon, that which support, okay, and that which establishes. Clear? Support, dependence, support, establishes. That means I have to depend on all those. Therefore, the existence of good and evil is based on Tathagata Garbha. That means these 3 have to depend on Tathagata Garbha. Therefore, all things can be formed. 东西才能够成立. Of course, according to Yogacara, had to depend on alayas, right? But according to Madhyamika, it had to depend on causes and condition. It had to depend the nature of emptiness. Then thing can be formed. But this one tells you, it had to depend on Tathagata Garbha. So whether it depends on Tathagata Garbha or alaya. So definitely in your mind, you are thinking like there's a thing in your there's a concept. You say, there's a thing there. Tathagata Garbha, Rulai Zhang, or Yogacara, or this alaya. So once we have the concept of this one, and this considered as existent, it's not emptiness. So you may cling on to it. So that's why I say this is considered as a skillful mean, imperfect. But this one just to guide those sentient beings in the process of understanding this one, then eventually they will realize emptiness. Because whether Yogacara or Tathagata Garbha, at the end of the day, you have to go back to emptiness. If you don't go back to emptiness, and this is not Mahayana teaching, and this is considered imperfect, and you cannot become enlightened one, 你不能成佛的. Because you didn't realize emptiness. So please bear in mind, whether we are talking about Tathagata Garbha or 8 consciousness, all these are by skillful means. Even Buddha nature also considered as emptiness. Because at the end of the day, they will tell you, this Buddha nature, you cannot cling on to it, 你不能执着. It's emptiness. So, in other words, we have to realize emptiness. 我们一定要悟到空，了解空. If we cannot realize emptiness, There's no way we can become Arhat, liberated one. Not even talking about even the Buddha, enlightened one. Cannot. That's why Buddhism is not a God. Even God also talking about existence. There's a God, creator, or whatever. To us, is living in the three realms, one of the three realms, one of the level of the heaven. So they are still in the cycle of birth and death. So considered imperfect. 有嘛，它还是有嘛。So when you talk about emptiness, we go beyond existence. Or there's a book, English textbook, they call Beyond Concept. Beyond concept. That's why it say Buddhism, talking about the true Dharma, it say inexpressible, unthinkable, inconceivable, 不可思议，不可说 in Chinese. The real truth, we cannot be expressed, 讲不出来的。Even now I tell you, explain to you, all these are by skillful means. So what does it mean? 你讲不出来怎么办？没有用嘛。The main thing is one use to realize yourself. You have to do it by yourself. The true Dharmas cannot through talking only, cannot. 不是讲听or listening. Because we have to practice it. Then you realize ourselves. That's why in Buddhism talk about inexpressible, inconceivable, unthinkable, 不可说的。It's just like drinking the water. How cold, how hot is the water? I cannot tell you. I say cold to you is not cold. I say hot to you is not hot. Up to individual. You say, okay, I use thermometer. Thermometer 怎么办? But thermometer you learn in science, there's a plus and minus, 也是不准0.01 plus of, let's say for instance, plus 0.01 minus 0.01. It's just that you learn the metal engineering. You say the two metal bar, you want to fix in, you cannot have the same diameter, 20 cm, how to fit in? 两个都一样的嘛 Why not? Then you do plus minus, then 一个要比较小嘛 so that it can fit in 嘛 So it's the same logic. Okay, back to the textbook. So you have to depend on these three. Dependence, support, and establishment. 依持力 in Chinese. 依 tathagata 持 tathagata 建立 then the thing can be formed. So therefore, the existence of good and evil is based on tathagata, but their existence does not have the tathagata as a substance. Okay? Nor are they produced from tathagata. Why? Because tathagata also emptiness. As you study in the module 2, we talk about 5 skandha. You cannot say we are come from the 5 skandha. You cannot say that we are not come from the 5 skandha. 非即非离啦. Because all these are considered two concepts, two extreme. Right? Why not? That's why I say 真深 That's why you go and figure. 那就叫拜佛啦，念阿弥陀佛去保佑你 so simple. And this is called Buddhism. The 拜佛念佛可以的，为什么不可以 This is external help. We need this one to boost out our confidence. But we have to practice the Dharma. But how to practice the Dharma? You must know the theory. Why not? It's just like other religions. Christianity, they study Bible. Of course, the Bible is simple. They also have their sacred teaching. Hinduism, Bhagavad Gita, they also have the sacred teaching. It's just like whether Qing bo Qing, whether profound or not profound. But they also emphasize that, they emphasize more on belief lah. They also ask you to follow their kind of rules and regulation. But if you compare with Buddhism, Buddhism is more profound, the kind of things. Okay? So next paragraph. So Tathagata Dharma can be the cause. Of course, definitely it's a main cause. That is dependent upon. 你要依那个因嘛 the main cause. Support and establishes because it is eternal and immutable. 你看 just like God, eternal, whatever. And Buddhism talk about impermanent. Then you may have a doubt, say, it's a paradox. Buddhism talk about impermanent. Then you say this one eternal, immutable, 不可变的. You know what I mean? So, therefore, I keep on emphasizing at the very beginning, these are all skillful means. Because they tell you this is immutable and this is eternal, then you feel very safe, very confident already, more encouraging. Right now? So all these are by skillful means. Of course, you from the perspective of emptiness, ultimate emptiness, where got eternal? Of course, God will claim that they are eternal, immutable. Right? 永远的上帝. Who created God? No. God already there. Clear now? So let me tell you, this theory, of course, I told you already, these are one of the 3 different systems of thought. This is called Buddhist philosophy. Interesting, a bit profound. You see, some people cannot understand. And this is not, you won't see in the Theravada teaching, Theravada Buddhism. No. They won't talk about this one, Yogacara or whatever, Tathagata. And they may talk about Majjhimika, but go and think about it. See, first time you don't understand is normal. If you say you understood, then you're a normal student. I always tell joke with the student, if you pass the exam, you're abnormal. If you fail the exam, you're considered normal. So my student joke with me, 师父, now I have become normal. Then I want to fail my exam. You fail the exam become normal because most of them are fail the exam. So most of them are normal. Then I say abnormal because you only few of them you pass your exam. You see, the Dharma exam question is different from your computer science or whatever accounting, those exam paper, no? Now you listen is one thing, ask you to write the essay, you know, but your hand cannot move how to write. Last time I got tested outside. One of the female students, the here look very pale now. 差點要送去醫院呢。你看 get better. I said, how 驚掉咧? So next time, once you make sure you sit for the test, you have to declare yourself, whether you are fit to sit for the exam. If you are no fit, then 等處困. What else? I don't know how come he's so kanchiong. Wow. Then rested half an hour, but eventually still have to take the test. Because must be fair, ma. But you take the test in the isolated room. Okay? So 你不要以为佛教. You see, Buddhist theory are very good one, but just like difficult to understand and practice. Therefore, it's different level. That's why I say Buddhism just a PhD course. You want to get a PhD. Other religions just like master degree, bachelor degree. They still consider a kind of. If I use this one to differentiate, and some people want to pursue the PhD. Then it's just a Buddhism. If your condition arise, you want to go further, you want to become Buddha, then you have to pray for the price, just a PhD. If you say, no, I just want to get a Bachelor of Science, BSc, or get the BA degree, Bachelor of Art, 搞了，我做工就使了. Then okay, Christianity, Catholic, Hindu, can, no problem. So it's just a different grade, different level. Because Buddhism aim for distinction. I told you, a perfected one. Everything, no free meal. I cannot say no free lunch in this world. Here got free lunch. 我不能讲白吃午餐嘛，这边有嘛。Even got 白吃晚餐 also. Free one 嘛。So I change my thing. I say no free meal in this world. 没有白吃的东西。Like you keep on eating here for free, then you have to pay for, not to pay the money. You must pay back. Otherwise, you can't pay it. Well, these are all money come from all over the place. People working so hard and let you eat free or whatever. So some people say, okay, help as a volunteer, wash toilet, do some cleaning, this called payback, right not? So 你说不要紧，你讲 free 嘛 ，not my fault 嘛。They say free， 我们就吃 free 咯，你吃 free 咯，你慢慢吃咯。 You just imagine, no fee on. You just want to get promotion. Or you want to understand Tathagata, then you must pay for the price. Spend time, effort to understand. Like me, last time when I study, I also don't know. I'm struggling also. 你看我讲得这么轻松 and I spent more than 10 years to understand all these things. Not easy one, Understanding is one thing, practicing that's more challenging. 知而容易，行而难。Okay, next page. Page 320. 你看，刚刚这个我就可以讲 more than 1.5 hour. Not even that, 我是 skip. If a paragraph by paragraph 跟你讲1.5 hour, probably only 3 verses only. Depend how you explain. 可简 can be simplified, can be make it very detailed, profound. Okay, next verse, page 184. Verse 184. Being permitted by rational habit. You know rational habit 嘛？仪习嘛。Our heart still have rational habit, but not for Bodhisattva and Buddha. Those rational habit means rational habit. It means they have a bad habit, and it's beyond your control one. You cannot control one. Just like our heart. When you listen to music, they were shaking or whatever. This habit, not easy to correct. And this is called rational habit, but not for Bodhisattva and Buddha. Bodhisattva and Buddha are different. They don't have this kind of bad habit one. Okay, so here they say being permitted by rational habit from beginners of time. Right? Just like you study traveling, ignorant from very, very starting, but actually it's beginners. I told you, beginners and endless. 无始无终嘛. Okay? Tathagata is called alaya. So, very funny. You see, they developed from Tathagata. Tathagata tried to claim that 8 alaya is a king. Without 8 alayas, 8 consciousness, all things cannot be formed. So, I'm more powerful. Then now come to Tathagata, I say, oh, you see, you claim that you are the king. I'm the actual king, not you, no. So even my talking about Tathagata already include you in what you say just now, alaya. That's why they claim that Tathagata is called alaya. So I don't think if based on the theory, how they explain, how the thing operate. In fact, it's the same one. 换汤不换药 in Chinese. Regardless whether you talk about alaya or you're talking about Tathagata, 两个都是一样的。Talk about existence. 只有 Madhyamika 不一样 different. Emptiness. Even talk about existence, 你绕一大圈嘛。At the end of the day, you have to realize emptiness. It's just like you want to come to Buddhist lodge. You can come from River Valley, you can come to this one. Which is shorter? I don't know. But the final destination is the same. Buddhist lodge, 居士林. Right? It depends on where are you come from. You come from this side, Orchard Road or whatever, River Valley, you come from here, no? You come from Muhammad or whatever, the other side, you come from there, no? So probably this one shorter, this one longer. Wow. But the final destination is Buddhist lodge. Just like here, the ultimate goal is emptiness. Madhyamika is shorter, direct, straightforward, direct. Indirect, 绕一圈 Go one bit round, But having said that, at the end of the day, their ultimate goal is emptiness. So here, that's why I'm trying to explain to you. 如来藏就是阿赖耶，see a confusion. 乱了. So that's the meaning why they thought Tathagata is called alaya, because everybody want to claim that my product, mine is more original, mine is a better product. Just a salesman, so they want to sell the product. 这个比较好，这个最好的。So you buy this one, you buy this one. Oh, laptop Dell no good lah. You buy Toshiba lah, you buy the whatever lah. Right? So you want to promote your product. Dell is cheaper, cheap and good. That one more expensive, $2,000 something. This one only more than 1,000 only. Right? So it's the same thing. They try to promote themselves. Must see, you are under me. I'm more original. I'm before you. No. So they say Tathagata is called alaya. From it there is birth and death. and the realization of nirvana. So, what I told you before, what is the ultimate goal? What is the final destination? Nirvana. What? 解脱嘛 liberation means liberation 嘛 regardless whether talking about this and this one, at the end we want to attain nirvana ma, want to attain liberation, free from suffering. Clear? But I tell one thing, if you based on the inside explanation, you go read out yourself, see whether you can understand it. Of course, not so straightforward. But anyway, due to time constraint, can you see the page 321? The first paragraph, you come from the end of the first paragraph, the third line, come from the bottom, at the end of the first paragraph. The content of the alaya, consciousness, has a true form. This true form in bracket they call Tathagata, Rulai. And the karmic form, because due to karma, right? So you see the bracket, permitted by meaningless elaboration. 细论, I told you earlier. Meaningless elaboration means, or we can reverse to assistant, yo. So the reason, the union of these two is called alaya. Wow, I tell one thing. It means this, according to Yogacara, they say, I'm more original, you're under me, I'm big brother, you're small brother. Then Tathagata say, I'm big brother, you're small brother. So they start to claim themselves. That's why I say this one indirect more complicated. To me, it's more complicated. Madhyamika 比较好懂. Madhyamika, although it's very profound, but very straightforward. But these two, you must train in psychology. Then this one talking about assistant, then you sometimes make yourself confused also. Correct now? To me, I think Madhyamika is quite straightforward. Okay, can you turn to the page 322? Going to time's up already, yeah? Verse 185. The Buddha taught that the empty nature of things, right? The nature of emptiness for all things, right? Buddha taught us. He says it's what, Tathagata Gaba. You may want to argue that Tathagata is an assistant. How can you say the nature of emptiness? Tathagata Gaba is to tell you, if you base on the appearance outlook, there's a Ru Lai Zhang, Buddha nature here. But it's not, of course, you say there's a Buddha nature here, it's just like planting a seed. So you say, hey, there's a object there. Why not? And this is called Tathagata Gaba. But at the end of the day, because they play a trick, they say, yeah, you got the Buddha nature. But in fact, let me tell you, at the end of the day, when you know the nature of emptiness, they will tell you, say, due to nature of emptiness, in fact, this Buddha nature is not a true substance. There's no real substance. All refer to emptiness. So, in other words, in the initial stage, in order to guide you enter to the Buddha gate, they will tell you, say, okay, when they tell you the language whereby you can understood, can be understood. 你听得懂的，来。You please enter the room first. You want to listen to Dharma class. I don't talk outside. Outside cannot hear properly. Come. I will make it more attractive. Make it more attractive so that you will enter the room. You'll come in. Just now got two coming already. Then left because they went there for chanting one. 那个穿海青的嘛。So you make it more attractive. They come in. Once they come in, easy to solve already. 我们最怕他不要进来嘛。If you do come in, 哇，假烂 they couldn't understand. Right? If once they come in, just like you're coming already, even you're coming also couldn't understand. Those standing outside even worse. Correct or But at least not too bad. You come in, although you say I couldn't understand, but you pretend to understand. 专懂嘛，不懂专懂嘛，you pretend to understand. Something like that. So here they say, it's Tathagata Gaba. True suchness Okay? True substance, 才是个真如 refers to true, satya, 真理 is undifferentiated, 无分别 I told you already, undifferentiated, right? Not differentiated mind. Undifferentiated 就是中道嘛 beyond two extreme 嘛 neither A nor B We have a differentiation, we have a we try to differentiate the two things Undifferentiated 就是无分别嘛 And this refer to middle path And this one, you know that it's all things that depend on causal and condition You know that it's emptiness So they say undifferentiated Now you and me cause suffering because we have a differentiated mind 因为我们有分别心嘛 Simple as that Right So they say true substance is undifferentiated 无分别真如无分别无差别 And should not be mixed with non-Buddhist views But according to here they remark 勿让外道见 You don't go and trick it This one is just like non-Buddhist view Non-Buddhist school one Just like other religion 无分别 doesn't mean that You don't recognize A and B are different We know that A and B are different It's just like We don't cling on to it Because you know that A and B will change One day will change A become B, B become A There's no fixed There's no permanent thing Because Buddhism do believe in permanent nature But they scared we fall into the trap And thought that this is just like other school, other religion Same thing no different Right, this category just like God Dependent, support, establishment 依持力 Just now talking about this one Okay Hope that you have appetite to enjoy your lunch This one just put one step first Then go back and read up Today we stop here Due to time constraint we stop here Okay, so next lesson Okay, next lesson will be on the next month, 6th of November. This month we do have 5 weeks. So 30th October, no class. Of course, here you can read up that 8 consciousness is said to store the impression of previous experience which form the 6 of future karma, right? It's this life and in the next after, rebirth. Okay, shall we do a dedication? Please hold the palm and follow me. May all the merits thus accumulated be dedicated to all sentient beings. May all sentient beings and I together attain Buddhahood. Okay, please stand. Okay, here. Okay, one bow to the Buddha. Okay, see you all. Enjoy your lunch. Okay, one bow to the Buddha. See you all next time.